Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And as I mentioned in my last show, Dr. T said that the solar flux index would be improved above 70 for the next 2 weeks. And I've not been able to listen to shortwave too much because we're in the midst of a storm and been having a lot of rain and some lightning. So I've kept my antennas disconnected until this morning. It's, what time is it? It's 5:45 a.m. here in Clearwater, Florida. I'm using my SDR Play 1 with my G5 RV antenna, a medium wave filter on that antenna to keep the medium wave stations from bleeding into short wave, and I'm using SDR Uno. So that's kind of the setup, and I'm using the website short-wave.info that gives you a listing of shortwave stations that are on the air at any given time. And this is the first one on the list, which is at 5.830. This is probably, as you can see here, I'm filtering on the frequency using the memory panel. And this is probably WTWW in Lebanon, Tennessee. And what I'm noticing is during this storm condition, things will really improve and then they'll get bad. And then they'll really improve and really get bad. So not only the solar flux index, which I told you was 73 right now, but also just, the clouds and the weather, local weather conditions can affect reception. And of course, my antenna is wet now because it's been raining off and on for like 3 or 4 days. So we're going to just kind of check the bands here and see if things really have improved. You can see on the spectrum down here, there's a bunch of big signals in this area that I'm in right now, which is around 5 megahertz. And we're going to check a couple of those, and then we're going to go back to short-wave website and see some other frequencies we should be looking at right now. So here we go. I'm going to turn the audio back up so you can hear the radio. And then we'll check some of these signals here.
Tú lo has logrado con este grupo de jóvenes. Lo has logrado. Todos tus sueños.
Y ahora tenemos otros muchachitos más que iban por el mismo camino y estamos empezando con ellos también.
Okay, these are these Spanish stations, Spanish-speaking stations that I get quite often in the morning, around 6 megahertz, and they're quite loud. I mean, quite strong. They come booming in. I don't know which ones they are, where they're coming from, whether they're from Cuba. There's a China radio transmitter down in Cuba or near Cuba, and it comes booming in the morning, and typically it's in Spanish. So you can see there's a bunch of them right around 6 megahertz. Let's go back down here to 5 megahertz and thereabouts. Turn the audio back up. Another one. Let's go down slowly. There's WWV. Kind of intermittent. You can hear the signal level vary. You can see it here. And that's the, let me mute this for a second. That's the beauty of using an SDR and using software like this. You can visually see what's going on the signal. And you can see signals that you don't necessarily hear them if you're just tuning an analog radio and just turning the tuning knob. You might skip over them where you can actually visually see them. I'm kind of, you can tell I'm kind of sold on SDRs. All right, let's move on.
To you off air, but We did get a email a couple of days ago from a guy.
Now that's a strong
who,
thing.
it's pretty interesting. He's in Florida. You may remember it.
4.850.
Listening to, you got it there?
I think it's
okay. We're good. I think I jumped the gun.
showed up as like the report of the week.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun there.
We've heard from this gentleman before, and his title, as far as who sent it, is the report of the week.
Maybe we're a little bit off. Let's go down a little more.
Says that he says that he's got some YouTube stuff going on. And, this
Okay.
is
That could be.
good.
Let me mute it for a second. That could be Aussie Radio, which is out of United States. Actually, I think it's out of Tennessee, which it's booming in right now. And so there's a couple of them here. Let me go back up a little bit.
3, 4. And he's in Central Florida, and that was on 48.4.
48.4, okay.
And so this is John, and I know that we've heard from him before. And,
Okay, this is probably where it
I
is.
know of WWCR since 2013 and have listened to various programs.
There you go.
Ever since, to give you a little
WWCR,
background.
Nashville,
I actually
Tennessee.
manage a YouTube channel with nearly 1
Booming
million
in.
subscribers for a living.
Okay, let's check a couple of these lower ones down here.
And offer my thoughts on.
There's data. That's just some kind of data. Whoop. That sounds like weather. Usually in sideband. There you go.
A strong front will move from the northwest Caribbean to the Yucatan Peninsula Wednesday through early Friday with a...
Now that'll be interesting right now because that's where this storm is hitting, is towards New Orleans, Alabama, the tip of Florida. About in that area is where the storm's going to hit. And this is the beauty of this memory function of SDR Uno, is you can do this filter, and I'll show you again how I did that. I right-clicked on here and I select filter by VRX frequency, and then it. Oh, I just kicked the microphone over. I hope I didn't hurt your ears. Oh my gosh, what a dummy I am. Anyway, so this is showing that on this frequency, 4.316, it's either the Japanese new agency's fax, which is also broadcast in sideband, or New Orleans weather station, which is, that's what it is, and it's booming in. Well, it's not booming in. I can barely see. Just every once in a while the signal pops up. So there again, I probably was, if I was tuning in analog radio, I'd probably pass right by this. Let's turn the audio back up. Sometimes I talk too much and don't let you listen to the audio much. So let me let you listen to the audio.
Wednesday night, east to southeast, winds 20 to 25 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Thursday, east to southeast, winds 20 to 25 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Thursday night, east to southeast, winds 20 to 25 knots. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Caribbean north of 15 north between 72 west and 85 west today. Southeast.
That's another thing that's good about listening to single sideband is, and that's why amateur operators usually use single sideband when they're communicating, is you can get more distance out of a single sideband station than just a AM station. And I won't go into details of why that's true, but it's true. And some people even listen to medium wave station using single sideband, and you get better. They claim you get better reception. All right, I'm going to now go back to short dash wave and see what's at the top of the list of stations that are on right now, and one of them is 9.395. So let's go to 9.395. Whoops, 9.5. And there's absolutely nothing there. And it says that a bunch of normally strong station, which is Brother Stair, which I don't know if he's still in the air anymore, or he's out of jail. WRMI, that was one I thought I might be able to get, because it's saying right now that at this time of day, and maybe did a half hour? No, we haven't changed the hour yet. This time of day, WMI should be broadcasting, but because you can see by the spectrum, there's nothing there. There's a strong signal here. I don't think it's voice. Let me click on it here. And we'll unmute it. And, oh, okay, I'm still in. Oh. Okay, what that is, I believe, and I've heard other people talk about it, it's the lady from, I believe, Cuba, who sends out a bunch of numbers. And supposedly it's some kind of code for spies. I don't know. But boy, she's booming in right now. So this is the Cuban spy number lady. And she's right now on 9.150 and booming in. I'll let you listen to her for a few more seconds. Well, now our signal's fading out. You know, that's the thing about shortwave, and like I was saying, local weather conditions can affect that too. Now there was a strong signal that bumped up here a couple of times. It's not there right this second. So I don't know exactly where it was. Now let me go back to the chart again. At 5.050 should be WWRB in Tennessee. So that should be coming in pretty good. Let me just click on this signal right here before we leave this area. And take the mute off. Very weak. Could be one of these. IRIB. Could be. Oh, there's that big signal again. Right? We come down here. We'll listen for a few seconds. See if it comes back. Here comes one of these guys walking through. Yep, that signal's gone that I was trying to capture. Yeah, that's long enough to dwell, but there was a signal there. It was really strong, but it only lasted for a short period of time. We'll do a couple more. The idea is I'm just trying to show you right now with this solar, oh, there it is. There's a big one. With this solar flux index. Let me shut up. And missed it again. Anyway, what I was saying is right now with that solar flux index above 70, conditions have improved. There's another big signal here again. And it's amazing that normally, 2 or 3 years ago, we were saying, oh, the solar flux index is now above 100, which is excellent. Well, we won't see those days for, they say, 2 or 3 years before we see those days. But we still can get some good reception with the solar flux above 70. And just whatever the local conditions are, that also affects shortwave listening. So shortwave is not dead by any means. And if you go to shortwave-info, which shows you what's on now or anytime you pick, there's a bunch of stations out there. You just may not be receiving them at any given time. So I got to refresh my screen here where I had that up. I was going to try 5 point. That's too close to WWB. Now let's don't try that. 17 megahertz is a little high for reception early in the morning for me. How about 5.890? 890. That should be WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee. Turn the audio back up. Nope. Not there. Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind, a lot of these shortwave station listings are not 100% accurate because the stations themselves are changing their schedules pretty rapidly nowadays. So even though it says there should be something on right now, there may not be. So this station, I can't hear it. I should be able to hear it, but I'm not hearing it, and maybe it's not rebroadcasting at this time. Okay, I think that's enough. My point is the solar flux is greater than 70, as Dr. T indicated would be, and she said it would be that way for about 2 weeks starting by last Thursday. And so get your shortwave radios out. Look at that big signal right there that burst in there. That's gone. And start listening to shortwave. And leave us a comment about what you received, when you received it, where you're at approximately. You don't need to tell us exactly. And we need to share this information. I still haven't come up with a way that I can notify you if I have found that shortwave conditions are good at a given time. Send out an email or post something maybe on Facebook or Twitter or something like that. We need to come up with some idea so that we can let each other know when shortwave is active. That's it. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.